Hello everybody, my name is Todd Shearon. I am the host of the first Like Windsor podcast. Of course, this is a video, it's not just radio. But as you can see, there's a bunch of red and white in Canada flag action going on because I'm in the one and only Windsor's own Canada House with who? The owner, proprietor, artist, Canada, Dan Bodwin. Thank you for being on our podcast
My
today.
pleasure.
So I guess the question, like we were talking about earlier, what's the one thing you get asked the most? How did this come to be?
Yeah, that's a good question, and a lot of people ask me that. And when I first moved in, 5 years after I moved in, I put a maple leaf flag on the corner of my house, painted the porch red and white. I did the same thing to the back porch. Then I painted the cement blocks red, and I added a couple maple leaf metal cutouts on my front porch. And my daughter, Elena, when she was in grade 6, she's 37 now, she came over one day and said, "Hey, Dad, the kids call your house a Canada house and call you Canada Dan the Canada man." And I'm thinking, wow, you got to love that. So, you know what, from there, I never looked back, and here we are today.
So you never essentially named the place; it just kind of happened, and they dubbed you.
Well, Canada. I just tied Canada Dan with the Canada House, and then it snowballed from there.
So what? Okay, so going back 30, you said 36, 37. So how old, or what year was it? I guess. That you started all this?
I've been doing this for over 25.
Somewhere back to like 94 or something like that.
Yeah, maybe even before that.
The grunge era.
Yeah, so yeah, I got people that are grown-ups and they remember my house when they were little. So.
Well, I mean, it's a generational thing now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you obviously, we'll get more into a bunch of stuff you do around here, especially on Canada Day. But even when I pulled up before the podcast, I parked right in front of your house and a family was out there taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's got to happen all the time, no?
Yeah, it does. And I look at it like, hey, fruits of my labor. You know, that's, stuff like that. I'm thinking, hey, I'm heading in the right direction. And like I talked to you before, it'd be nice to leave something back for Canada and good old Windsor. So.
Well, you already have a bit of a legacy going. I mean, I'm not the first one to come in your home and do things. I know a friend of mine, Amy Rivard, filmed a show here where she played a character,
I remember.
Canadian.
Yeah, that was a few. Yeah, I remember that.
So I mean, stuff like that. I mean, are there any other interesting stories where people have knocked on the door randomly and said, "Hey, I want to see or look inside"?
Yeah, people. I offer people, "Would you like a tour?" You know, people take pictures, and I come out. I says, "Hey, would you like a tour?" And yeah, I get a lot of American people taking pictures and stopping and looking. And Americans, they're very patriotic. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Hey, you gotta love people that are patriotic for sure. So.
Well, I mean, obviously you're very patriotic, and most people are very proud Canadians, just like you said, proud Americans. But in a border city, like how do you feel you stand out? Everybody talks.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this house.
I'm born in Windsor, and you know what? Probably got that patriotic bug from the Americans, because you go over there, every third, fourth got American flag, eh?
Right.
And but you know what? Canadians, we're all patriotic. It's just that I like to show it more than the average Canadian.
just a little bit. Just a little bit. This section here alone is more.
Yeah.
I got like hockey Canada jerseys or Team Canada.
Oh,
You got obviously I don't know if you can see it up there fully, but we'll maybe cut in a shot. But what's this going on up on the wall?
Okay, that's a Canadian silver dollar.
1965.
That's February 15th, 1965 is when we got our new maple leaf flag. That's when they lowered the Union Jack down and raised the maple leaf. Gotta love it.
Obviously that's the symbol of everything is the maple leaf. I mean, I'm not a Leafs fan, and you're a Canadians fan.
Yeah,
right?
But our soldiers wore not the maple leaf flag, but at first the maple leaf
right.
for years, and the maple leaf represents our our country, our freedom, and our soldiers, and everybody who protects and serves, and we're very lucky to be Canadian for sure.
Well, it's under that flag that we're all united.
Oh yeah. You know, so
it means inclusion as well, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
We're open to all things.
When I can't sleep, I don't count sheep. I count maple leaves.
I don't know many people just looking at
Yeah,
the curtains alone,
I
I'm
like to
no
say
way.
that. Yeah, people laugh.
Could you imagine?
So, some people say, yeah.
I'll stick to sheep or whatever.
All right, there you go. Hey, if it don't work, hey, give the maple leaf a try.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, obviously, when you're this patriotic and your house is done up like this, would you consider yourself to be a bit of a Canada buff, like history buff information?
You know what? No, history. I'm not a bookworm when it comes to history. The newspapers are my books.
Gotcha.
I want to be reading in the paper what's going to be history later on down. Like, you know,
Right.
I want the current stuff. Hey.
But you know this. You know some of the big dates, I'm sure.
Yeah, but
Like you rattled off the 1965 silver dollar. I'm just like,
you know,
bang, just like that.
but I'm not a history buff by no means.
Fair
so
enough.
yeah, it's all.
Well, what about? Okay, so when was our well, what's 1660? Is it 1867? What's the significance of that date?
That's when Canada became a country.
Right. So that's when we got our independence. We're still a British sovereign country.
Yeah, we are,
Right.
and that, you know, it's you know, this is 2019, and it's time to
Details.
maybe, yeah, you know, like with all due respect, they retired the Union Jack and the Union in the history books, and I think this British monarchy is, you know, I respect what they did for Canada, but it's I think we're 152 years old.
Yeah, I think after that time they kind of give you a little bit more.
Well,
I
think
you guys
know,
are
like,
on your own.
well, yeah,
You're good.
you know, I think, and you know, thanks for your help, but hey, we can take it from here.
I should certainly hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we've been doing it for a long. And
Yeah.
you know what? And you've got all these historic. Well, for example, this is kind of weird. You know, I was going to mention Sir John A. Macdonald. What, like, I don't even know all this, and this is stuff happening now. You said the newspaper is your thing now. Like, what do you know, or what can you tell me, because I'm a little naive maybe, about all the stuff going on with the history of him? The $10 bill's been changed and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the $10 bill, you got to love it. They call the lady on the $10 bill Rosa Parks, Canadian Rosa Parks, and you know, long overdue, and that's a good thing. And Macdonald, he was our first prime minister. I think you know that.
Yep.
And you know, like the history that they taught us in school about like they don't tell you the fine print about the history of, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know, we got some warts, you know, in between the you know, the
Right.
history there.
There's
So,
always. I mean,
yeah.
we weren't there.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
eyewitness
but
account
you know, it would have
is
been
a
nice
long
if
time.
they, you know, nobody's perfect, and we all make mistakes, and it would be nice to you know, hey, let's see, you know, what you know.
Well, it's happening. I mean, you hear it in the States all the time. I mean, we don't have a Confederate flag to tear down, or certain monuments that display blatant racism based on the time. But I mean, does it have anything to do with that?
And I think, with all due respect, we do have like the First Nations in Quebec. They're
We have our
once
own
again the
situation.
history. I forget this one statue that he wasn't very nice to the First Nation people. I don't know if that's you know, but anyway, it's now we do have. You know, we do have some issues that we have to, you know, step up to the plate and you know, have respect for everybody that lives in Canada. First Nation, they were here before us, and hey, you know.
It's a very sad state of affairs when I mean I'm you know, go back so many generations. I'm as pure born bred Canadian as I could be, really, but I'm not, you know, an Indigenous person of Canada. I mean, that's a whole thing that came before anybody.
Yeah.
That brought us into the country.
Yeah.
Of course, our ancestors weren't a part of it unless we have some heritage.
The way I look at Canada First Nation people, they were here before us, and you know what? I'm born here, and when you know, like I you know, I'll always be their land and home, right? And when you're born here, or when you pledge allegiance to Canada, to me, we're all Canadians. So that's the name of the game.
Well, explain the Canada. I mean, we were talking about that a little bit earlier before we sat down. But explain that and how that kind of took a turn. What did it mean? What it means?
Canada in First Nations language, that means village, right? Big village, you know, and they kind of got, I don't know how to put it into words, to tell you the truth. Yeah, and I just feel that they were here before us, and they should have, you know, Canada's got to step up to the plate and treat them like the rest of us. You know, we all have freedom, but you know what? I realize that some of us got more justice than others, and I think our country, Canada's got to come up to the plate, and where we all have the same justices, and you know.
Well, there's that situation going on now, and again, I mean, the days go by so fast, and media is so fast. But I know there's the situation with the missing women.
That was.
A lot of public figures are talking and speaking out loudly about that,
you know what, and been going on for years, and well, how come it took so long? Like, once again, you know, like if that happened in the rest of Canada, it'd be a national outcry.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
And I'm a white man, and that makes me angry. So can you imagine how for Canada First Nation people?
Oh my gosh.
And until the government understands that, and they. Then you know, they can throw all the money at it, and when you don't have respect and honesty, when you're sitting at the round table, man, you're wasting your time. So Prime Minister Trudeau, he's stepping up to the plate, but once again, you know, a lot of words, you know, action is where it's at. So.
Right. Well, he's a good talker.
Well,
I mean,
man,
to be honest, you know, doing something in that
regard. To be honest,
he's shown it a lot of times.
He's a lot better than Prime Minister Stephen Harper was.
Harper, yeah.
In my.
Well, some people say he didn't do anything for like the second half of his
like
tenure.
the missing the high road, the highway of tears. Yeah, he didn't want to call what do you know? How many? 3,000? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
like
any is too much. Really.
One is, and I'm thinking, anyway, I think we, you know, we all gotta, step up to the plate and say, hey, let's treat the First Nation, Canada First Nation people like how we are treated. Everybody's equal in Canada. I don't care who we are.
See, I mean, and we're one of the most open countries. I mean, and people say that because of that, we have an immigration problem. I don't want to believe that's the case. I think that we're just more willing to work with people and we accept people. And maybe, you know, America's a little bit more like lock the door, close the curtain. You know, but with all the things taking over now, it's like you see this uproar of we don't have separation like the United States does, but we have these pockets. You know what I mean? Like you have the LGBT community in Toronto stands out more than any in the world. Our problems with our Indigenous people are more broad than what you hear about in the United States.
Yeah. Well, they
have Indigenous Peoples Day.
And in the States, they're being the First Nation people are being treated like in what's happening in Canada.
Same thing.
But you don't. People are there's more people standing up for Canada First Nation people now. But we still got a long ways to go. And
for all those ignorant Canadians who don't know, the Indigenous people of Canada are the ones who kind of created hockey.
Yeah.
They played it before anybody ever came over here from any other country.
Yeah, and you know what? Live and let live. That's all. End of story.
Yeah.
Live and let live.
There was a good story, and I wish I knew the guy's name, but I took a hockey history course, like hockey in Canadian culture and history. And I don't want to say anything incorrect, but I mean, obviously the name hockey was taken from an old Indigenous word that was very close.
Never knew that.
Yeah, very close. Like I know I'm not right, but it's like hockey or hecky or something like that. You know, but that's a huge deal. But coincidentally, it was years and years they didn't let women play hockey in the early days either. That was always a thing. But the indigenous people were not necessarily allowed to play as well, to my knowledge, and it was years and years and years and years. They were just kind of, but they played more than anybody. They were always out on the ponds, and it was a guy, we're going way back, but the first indigenous person of Canada was picked up, and he played for the Chicago Blackhawks of all the teams. Okay. But he played something like 9 games and then said, you know what, I just wanted to show that we can play hockey as good as the professionals.
Gotta love it.
I quit. I'm going back home.
Wow.
And doing what I do with my family.
My type of people.
Crazy story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
no,
I mean,
good. You know, you got to respect that.
Put him on the map.
Yeah.
And actually, a kid just got drafted. The first kid that got drafted in the NHL from the Northwest Territories or something like that. Did you see that? I couldn't tell you his name, but that's a big deal.
Okay,
too.
yeah.
I'm way up to the Great White
I
North.
remember, and I'm not that much of a sports person. I root for all the Canadian teams because I feel that we should. But we're Canadian, and there's a First Nation gentleman. He played hockey, and Tutu.
Oh, Jordan Tutu, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember reading that. You know how he used to get in shape? He would carry his brother up the hill.
Why not?
Back and forth, And
That's
I'm
like
thinking,
Rocky
wow, and I seen him play for Team Canada, and I'm thinking, hey, finally, now this is the Canada I want to see.
Yeah. Where's he playing
Canada
now?
too.
Is he? I feel like is he not playing for the Canadians?
No, you know what? He.
I totally blanked on where
I think
Jordan
he got traded to American team.
I know he was in Nashville for a while.
Yeah, and you know, once again, I'm not a sports person too much, and my son would probably know. So, but anyway, you know, the door is open and good. You know,
I feel like I should know that too. I'm not the hockey buff. I say that I am. But
well, you know more than I do, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, you know, I can tell you a lot, that's for darn sure. But it is a passion of my life. But that's part of being Canadian.
That's it.
Americans think we're born on ice skates. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Weren't you?
No.
I still got mine.
Yeah.
That would hurt during childbearing, during birth.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Yeah. You're born with ice skates, man. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Well, you know what? I mean, Canadians, we've proven time and time again that we're likely the best hockey players in Canada. We did it all those years when Russia was winning because we didn't send professionals.
Yeah.
And then the '72 Summit Series, and then now it usually comes down to Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, but you know what? All these other countries are picking up on, all that experience and all the. So there's going to be some tough competition out there even now, you know what I'm saying? So, but when it comes to hockey, it's in our genes.
Well, I would,
for sure.
Especially now, you know what I mean? But I would still point out the fact that in our Canadian Hockey League, the CHL, players from all over the world try and get into those leagues, the OHL, the WHL, and the QMJHL, because it's the best, most ready to develop to be a professional hockey player. That's where you want to go.
Yeah.
That's why they have problems with the NCAA and the CHL, because they do it 14 to 18. We do our leagues from 16 to 20.
Okay.
So it's always an issue of education, and if you come to Canada and you still get your education package.
Speaking of hockey, how many Windsorites that made the big league through the years?
Oh my gosh.
Bob Probert.
Bob Probert, the late great.
Hey.
Tim Kerr.
There we go.
Tim Kerr. Who else we got?
The
goalie. It was the goalie that used to play for the New Jersey Devils. Sean Burke. Is that right? Sean Burke. Eddie Jovanovski.
Yep.
Kirby Reichel. Warren Reichel's son.
Windsor's a hockey town.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Big time. You know.
I think we've only got 3 Memorial Cups to Spitfires now in the less than 10 years.
There we go. I remember being a kid watching the Bulldogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, way before your time.
They were the Canadian champs. Same thing. It wasn't the Memorial Cup though. It was another trophy of something.
Yeah. Once again, I was actually we were poor, and the reason why I probably didn't, I'm not into sport. Hey, my parents couldn't afford hockey skates and stuff like that. So I used to go to a game once in a while and pick it up. But I remember the Bulldogs, eh?
Well, and the Red Wings actually played in that arena. The history in that Windsor arena.
Big time.
Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing with that place now. It's been
well, I heard they're going to tear it down. There's going to be a school there.
I think that I think that is
I
moved.
believe- yeah.
I think they moved past that. and
Oh,
it's not
they
happening.
changed. You know
'Cause
what?
It was Catholic Central, and they just announced that they're building a new complex right
Oh,
in the
okay.
area of the
Yeah,
original
you know
one,
what? I was wondering about parking and traffic
Oh, it
there.
would've
Like,
been a mess.
man,
It
like
would've
it's
been a
busy already. So hey,
Yeah.
they must. I guess they
But
looked at it real good and said, "This ain't going to work out."
Well, I
So-
just heard the one complaint was there's not enough students in the downtown area, and I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but you know, it's not the best part of town, and like you said, transportation, but buses are going every direction there, so there's positives.
Yeah,
and
you know,
negatives, I'm sure.
I grew up that part of town, You know, and the people, hardworking people, minimum wage workers, and you know, they get off work, they catch a Spitfire game, man, and you
Thursday
know,
nights
that
at
was
the barn.
it used to be a restaurant across the street. That used to be packed, and
The diner, yeah.
that's-
what was the name of it?
that's a good. I know.
I should. I spent like childhood.
Yeah, but
Saturday mornings there after hockey.
yeah, I can give you the layout of it, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah, now
So-
it's, you know, they paid
so-
Paradise to put up a parking lot.
That's it. That's
It's
it.
there now.
So,
The memories of my youth.
yeah.
Well, have you seen the Spitfires at the new arena?
Yes, I
Have
have.
you been to WFC?
Yes.
Were you at any of the Memorial Cup games over there?
No, I catch through the grapevine and hey, but I root for the Spits. So
What was
and I got a
big
Spit.
deal.
What's
that was
that?
a really big deal that they actually get to win at home. That's
Yeah,
a rarity.
exactly. I got I got them in my heart and I got them on my truck.
Nice.
So,
the
yeah.
truck. Now that's another thing.
Okay.
That we obviously it's not anywhere to be seen here. Maybe I'll find a graphic and we'll like smash like boom truck.
All right.
Show your truck. But I mean that's been part of the Canada Day parade in Windsor. You have it dressed up as much as you have the house dressed up.
Yes. Well, hey, it's mat set. Yeah.
What's all the stuff you got? Like you have. I can't remember all the names. The Nook Shooks and and all these things.
Yeah,
sticking
it's
out,
all relating back to Canada. You know, honoring the Kanata First Nation people, and you know, and support our troops, right? And Bob Propert's on there, a good man. He gave when he was here. He's still giving. Yeah, you know, I can take you around that truck for half an hour and explain to you whatever sticker means
Yeah,
to me.
There's a lot
Yeah.
on there. We're gonna have to get some shots of that and plug them over
no
this
problem.
for sure.
No problem.
I mean, because it is interesting, and I mean, once people see it, they might start to recognize when you're driving
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
city.
Oh, the kids always waving to me. Hey, I love it.
Now, you were actually in a movie. I should remember the name. I know I just looked it up, but it was about enforcers.
Yeah,
it was on Netflix,
yeah.
and you were in there
Yeah.
Saluting with the flag when Bob
that's
Probert's
funeral there.
when the hearse drove by.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be weird. Like you didn't even know that you were in that movie? I would think, right?
No, I had no idea, and then I heard it through the grapevine, and hey, you know what? If it's a good thing if people remember number 24, and he's a man that never forgot about Windsor, My type of Canadian.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yeah,
He was
big
a
time.
guy.
Good.
That's
Big. First time I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
No, I was
I never personally met the man, but they had remember the Wildcat hockey game.
Yep.
They had a benefit for the bus crasher.
Yeah.
Well, he was there. Don Cherry was there, and that's the first time I ever seen Bob Probert.
Oh, like just dressed
First time in
normal?
my life, you know.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, man, this
Big dude.
big dude, right? And
Hands that you would not want to get
yeah,
punched by.
yeah,
That's
and
how you
the first impression I got him was, you know, like the friendly giant on a pair of ice skates, dealing with his problems like the rest of us, And I said, hey, I wanted to shake his hand,
real.
but I couldn't get around him. But hey, I got number 24 right here.
In the Maple Leaf too.
Yeah, I'm taking that with me.
I like the piece of more right there too.
Yeah.
That's good. So how many tattoos do you have? Canada tattoos. Clearly you got a bunch right out the gate. Canada flag.
Yeah, I got one on my
crazy.
head.
Oh, come on. Can we see that? Can we?
Well,
show the camera that?
I haven't shaved my head lately, but I don't know if you can see it.
Oh my gosh, what does that say?
It's been up there for so long I can't remember.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I don't have my glasses.
Vive la Canada.
Yeah, 1867.
Yeah. There you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, now that, if that's not Canadian patriotism,
Hey?
I don't know what is. That's crazy.
My brother calls me bonehead, right? People ask me, that must have hurt. I say, and I'm thinking, you know what? He's got something there.
He's like, didn't hurt at all. It's just bone.
Yeah. So anyway.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. See, I mean, you know what? I've always thought about getting one, like something that, like, you know, getting like a stamp on my ass.
And there you go. Hey,
yeah.
There you go. Eh?
Yeah. If I ever go to Europe, at least they'll know I'm not American. That seems to be the thing. They're not happy with Americans, but Canadians are cool.
Yeah. You know what? It's Americans. They're loving people, freedom-loving people like we are. You know what? To me, we can stand beside each other, and you can't tell the difference. Eh?
It's true.
You know what? I'm not crazy about the government, but hey, what can you do?
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Bottom line, but you know what? I love the American people.
Yeah,
they're
like you said, like you put us side by side, you can't tell the difference, and that's kind of an interesting thing because we are very much alike.
That's it.
And the fact that we're so close. Yeah. It blows my mind growing up as a Windsorite my whole life because they have one hell of an accent in Michigan, and it just like cuts off at the Detroit River.
Yeah, but you know what? You go down south, they really got the southern draw. Oh man, I kind of like that, to be honest.
I mean, you can start getting to Cincinnati going south, and then when you get to Kentucky, Tennessee,
you all come back. You hear?
Oh my gosh, the classic one.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Eh?
And it changes. It's crazy that they have that many accents in one country.
Like, but you know what? We have freedom and human rights here. They have freedom and liberty. Man, as far as I'm concerned, we lucked out having having America as neighbors, eh? So
yeah, you know what? I mean, obviously, sometimes right now the joke is we're like the bad Donald Trump toupee of America, and I'm like, I don't know.
No, you know what?
That's a tough joke to be.
Yeah,
we're the butt crack of Canada, according to Stephen Colbert.
I try to, like politics, American. I try to keep my nose out of it. But the bottom line is what he does behind the White House desk affects all of us. So I feel I have the right to beak off a little bit. So
you know what? I don't disagree.
In a respectable way.
It's hard. I mean, especially here, everybody has a very strong opinion. I mean, you can go to Toronto or Ottawa, people are going to have an opinion there as well. But here, I think in our city and some of the other border cities probably as well, they feel the effects more than if they were in Toronto or Montreal or whatever. Yeah. Because I mean, we've seen it before where back in the Desert Storm days, where something occurred, and I don't want to say anything either, but there was a point in time, actually it might have been when George Bush II came in, George W. Bush came in, and our Prime Minister said, no, we're not going to fight in this, and then we kind of had to start, people said, put a United We Stand sticker or something on your car so they know that you're not against whatever's going on. It was after 9/11.
Yeah, I was just going to say 9/11.
That's really affected us, especially at the Ambassador Bridge.
Yeah, 58 Canadians perished in 9/11.
See that.
Yeah,
we can't
so
be
to me,
that
we're tied in with that. You know, and never thought I'd see that day for sure. Man.
You know what? There's tragedy, and then there's things like that. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of conspiracy to that story too. There's been so many weird things happen.
That's the day for me. The day it felt like the world stood still. And the last time I had a feeling like that when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, November 23rd, 1963. Buried him on my birthday.
Oh wow! See, you won't forget those dates. You bang that one right out.
Well, no, it just I'll never forget that day. Just like 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, still people will say that maybe he was killed because of that speech he made, and I know from past experience with you that you are a big fan of not what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country.
That's it.
And that's the one thing they always tend to show in the speech. That little lady makes some noise. That's the one thing that they always show. But there's a lot more to that speech that was historic and prolific and whatever, and sadly might have led to his death too.
You know what he said about Canada and U.S.? Hey, he said geography made us neighbors, history made us friends. That works for me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We have to be.
Yeah, I'm a Canadian, but you know, I love the guy.
Yeah.
One of my heroes.
Yeah.
How can you not like him?
Well, they were definitely a colorful family on top of it.
Yeah, and Martin Luther King Jr. He's another good man. So yeah. So
he actually Martin Luther King did a presentation, and obviously I wasn't around for this, but if you remember or not hearing this, but there's that clamshell stage in the back of Jackson Park behind the Windsor Stadium there. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that old clamshell still there?
They used to the Battle of the Bands and International
they use it
Freedom
for, like, dirt piles and stuff now, and stones for the park.
Yeah, I heard that Dr. Martin Luther King.
He did a thing there.
And you know what? I never knew that for years. And I've been to Jackson Park, and I always wondered if I stepped in his footprints.
You know what? You're probably close, I'm sure.
But you know what? I know I can't walk in his shoes, but I love to walk in his footprints. So.
Well, he
one of my heroes too.
Yeah, and I saw you have a poster in the house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that's major history.
And I have Canadian heroes. How can you not love?
Well, that was one of the questions I was going to get to. Who are your favorite Canadians?
Don Cherry, come on.
Grapes.
It reminds me of myself. I'm a little rough around the edges, but I like to think my heart's in the right place, And
people only complain because he's a little fast with the mouth a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, you know,
he's got his passion moments.
He's up there. He gets set in his ways, but you know, he means good.
I think he's great. Love him.
Yeah, he's always scoring for. You know, he never got. How long did he play hockey for?
Oh my gosh!
He only was on what, one period or?
He didn't play professionally.
Yeah.
Well, he played professionally, but he was like an AHL player, and then he was a coach, and he was pro coach and AHL coach.
Yeah, I got a shrine of him over there, eh?
We'll have to.
I got a hockey card of him.
Oh wow!
Not in a hockey uniform, in a suit.
Oh wow! A bobblehead, like a bobblehead? Or
no, it's a card.
Oh, the card. Sort of.
I have the and I got blue.
Oh, nice.
One of my heroes, and Lester B. Pearson. He's the one that got him and Diefenbaker duked it out.
To make the flag?
Diefenbaker wanted to keep the Union Jack, and they fought like dogs. And yes, one of my heroes for sure.
The interesting thing about Lester B. Pearson is there's an NHL award named after him too, and I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly what the award's named for, but there is a Lester B. Pearson.
He was the founding father of the United Nations. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, he got the ball rolling.
See, hockey fans probably more recognize that name for hockey, and would have. I had no idea. You know, so I didn't even know that he did that until you told me that. So, you know, the history of Canada. Unfortunately, that's one of the downsides of living in Windsor, right? We hear more about what's going on over there.
We're a border, but you know what? It's in the papers, so they can. You know, I get the Globe and Mail and the Toronto Star, and that keeps me up. You know what's going across Canada, and I watch our news on TV. So so I get my ears low to the ground.
Here's a random question: Celsius or Fahrenheit? Especially in a border
Fahrenheit.
City. Yeah.
Anytime I go, I'm trying to. Big time. Hey, old school, man.
Right. Well, a friend of mine today, I said to her, she's from Toronto and she's only here for the summer. Working for summer. And I'm like, oh, it's so hot outside. And I'm like, it's like 89 or almost gonna hit 90. She's like, I don't have any idea what that means. I'm like, I think it's like minus 15 or something divided by 2.
I always thought. I always thought if they did because of the price of gas, because liters. How much? What's a liter? $1.22.
Yeah, buck today, $1.22. Yeah.
Years ago, it used to be gallons, and it used to be like 35 cents a gallon.
Why did they change it?
Well,
why did we switch?
Because how many liters in a gallon? I think almost 4.
It's like 3.
So think about it that people $1.22 a liter. So now think about a gallon. You're paying that's over $5. Yeah. So
but a gallon's like $2.80 or something.
Our government changed it because they wanted to be like the rest of the world. All the rest of the world is
makes sense.
States still do gallons.
Yeah, well, they're fully by the metric system, right?
Yeah. So, and you know what? I don't know about now. When they first switched over to the metric system, some of the North American cars, some boats were metric and some were standard. And I'm a mechanic, so I'd be grabbing a wrench and hey, no, I need a metric, I need a standard. I don't know if they're all metric now or not, but I've been out of it for a while.
Well, I've noticed over the years too. Like, I mean, cars over here, they'll have miles per hour and they'll have kilometers per hour, and then of course you buy the car in the States, it might just have miles per hour because they're not thinking about selling to Canada. But some of them will have, it'll still be miles over kilometers and switch, or hit the light switch that changes on a road.
Yeah. I go down 401 and kilometers, and once again, speedometer's got either both of them. So I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm, like we grew up with you're familiar with metric, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because when you were young, that's what
we learned.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's still funny because if you're over in the States and it's like, there's this, like, I think they might have increased it, but it's like 75 miles an hour on the highway now. So everybody over here automatically thinks that it's 100 kilometers, which is not quite exactly. But we always have that excuse like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I'm Canadian, so I didn't know. I was looking at this and I thought it was that, and you hope to get away with it. You get one on the police officer.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. But I mean, we only have so much time here left.
Okay.
But, so I want to just touch base with you. I mean, this is coming out on Canada Day.
Right.
Now, we're going to pretend, we could have pretended and said, hey, it was Canada Day because it's coming out on Canada Day. But obviously, this is a couple days before. Yeah. But let's talk about why we couldn't do this on Canada Day, because you have all kinds of things going on. You're setting up now.
Yeah, I've been working the last couple days, and I still got 2 more days to get it ready. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a big do. Like, I bring invite my family, my friends, the neighbors, and I do the fireworks, cake and ice cream, and drive around a little bit before everybody gets here, and and we all at the end, sing "Oh Canada," naturally.
Well, you do it before the fireworks. Isn't that right? Or
no, I open up my garage, set up the tables, decorate the tables up, and I got a couple mooses I put on the table, and like the Canadian element all the way for Canada. And so, and at the same time, when we celebrate Canada, we can't forget about the people that served and protected Canada and fought and died for Canada, and it's a happy occasion, but at the same time, I never forget the people that made it possible for us to live freedom and our human rights. So,
well, I'm gonna ask you a question. I still want to talk about Canada Day, but just out of curiosity, recently our country changed the one lyric to the national anthem.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's just all thy sons command, and all of us are all of our command. How do you feel about that? I mean, I know it's about the military.
I served a little bit. I think it's way overdue because women were never in a combat role.
However.
Right, and women went to Afghanistan, and we had a woman soldier got killed fighting on the front lines. And you know what? Why shouldn't they not be in our national? They're fighting for Canada, fighting for our freedom. To me, that's a no-brainer. Way overdue.
I mean, the only complaint I really heard was people were acting as if it was very specific to, I think maybe it might have been World War I, or the lyrics were specific to World War I. I'm not sure how factual that is, as if it was different from then to now, obviously. But
you know
still,
what?
People are going to complain regardless.
Well, yeah, but this is we change. The armed forces changed. We got women in combat role, right?
Exactly.
And
that want to be there.
Yeah, and they're taking a chance of fighting and dying for our country. So why shouldn't they be in our national anthem?
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. Okay?
Yeah. I just wanted to hear your thought on that.
But and there's some people that say, "Oh no, that's tradition." Sometimes traditions got to go in a history book and update our
change will do you good.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
yeah. So no.
Sorry to shift on there, but that's definitely
I'm
curious
100%. A good move. Yeah.
So
it took me a while and I practiced that, and I know how to. Don't forget the words.
People still slip up on that.
Yeah, no, I made sure that, hey, my way of, thanking them for stepping up to the plate, like our Canadian male counterparts. So,
Right.
yeah, so.
Like I said, our flag means inclusion. Everybody should be included.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, bottom line.
Yeah.
So
back to Canada Day, you actually call it or refer to it Canada's Day, right? Tell me a little bit why you do that, because most people won't say it's Canada's Day. They just say Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada's Day?
Yeah. See, it's the Canada's Day, which it is.
Well, yeah, I think Happy Canada's Day is that we should be happy that we live in a country as we got some issues for sure, but compared to other countries, you know what I mean? Oh man,
the world has issues.
Yeah, I lucked out being born a Canadian, and you know what? All the people that come from other countries become Canadian. They lucked out too. And live and let live, name of the game. Yeah. We're a multicultural country, and my granddaughter, French immersion school, graduated last week, and I walked in there, multicultural 100%, and I'm thinking, wow. And you know what? These kids, they're laughing and joking and having respect for each other, and I'm thinking, you know what, we should learn from them, eh? So very nice. So
the puppy love over there's getting a little anxious. We're almost done, little lady. We'll sign off so the dog can get out and roam around and not get in the way. So as always, pleasure to be here talking with you. I always love coming to the house. We're almost done, little lady. Again, check out some of the videos that we did with Canada Dan here at the house a few years ago. Wide popularity, thousands and thousands of views. So we're thanking you for that. Yep. And that's why we're here today. We're kicking it off kind of where we started, and now kicking it off on Canada's Day again with the reboot. Again, thank you. Good luck on Canada Day.
Yeah.
Happy Canada Day to everybody, because this will be Canada Day when you see this video. Thank you to Dan, Canada Dan, having us in your house.
And, happy Canada Day, and long live Canada.
Long live Canada, long live Windsor,
and
long live us.
Yeah, vive la Canada.
Vive la Canada.
Vive la Windsor.
Vive la Windsor. Thank you for taking the time to like Windsor. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Appreciate it very much.